Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday Live. My name is Ashley Hay. I'm an artist and also the importer of Powertex for Australia. So, of course, over the past few weeks, I've been sharing with you my seahorse, from drawing to design to template to styrofoam to carving. And then this week, of course, we're going to start looking at how we can take some texture onto the seahorse. So I want to experiment with a range of different finishes so that I can find what is really, really effective, and just try some different things so that when I am doing the workshop, I have a good idea of where I'm headed. So Anne, welcome. Lovely to see you all the way from Canada. Always lovely to have you on. Thanks for dropping a comment. If you are watching, please let me know you're here and where you're from. It's always lovely. And even if you're watching in replay, it would be great if you can let me know you're here. Alrighty, so we're going to zoom you on down to the art table. And as I say, we are going to be looking at EASY3DFLEX and how to mix it and how to make some incredible textural effects with it. So this particular little sample board just shows you a whole range of different effects that you can actually get, and it's just really, really playful. And so this is what I'm suggesting I show you today, is how to just get these really playful textural effects. And hello, Roz, Tidal Harmony from Dawesville in beautiful WA, beautiful spot of the world there. And Roz runs or will be running Powertex workshops down in Dawesville very, very soon. So she has a lovely boat there as well. And is going to be doing workshops for ocean lovers. So we are all ocean lovers if we're looking at seahorses, and you can see some of the different beautiful textural effects that are on here. So there is a mix of different coloured clays. So I think you can see a slight shift in the colour between this one and this one. So this is red Powertex with the EASY3DFLEX, and the whole thing has actually been sprayed with the original Bista, which is the Bista in the liquid form, which is a beautiful sepia colour, and it's actually one of my favourite Bistas. I love, love, love it, and it was the first one that came out. So it really gives you a beautiful toning on your artwork. Okay, so we are going to get started without too much further ado. So what I have done on the seahorse here is I have just done a running mix using EASY3DFLEX and Powertex, and obviously the Powertex I've used is black, and I've just mixed it with a bit of EASY3DFLEX. So it's given a good coating onto the styrofoam. Now, this particular carving is just a really simple carving. So you can see I've just basically taken the edges off of here and kept it very simple. I haven't really formed it, so it will be interesting to see what happens. But of course, because we are going to put beautiful effects onto it, I don't need to worry too much about the particular form, and I actually like the shape and I like the planes that it has. I could actually raise this up here with a little bit of dimension if I want before I actually put the clay on. So I could do that with alfoil and masking tape in a variety of ways, or even other found materials that I could add onto here. So many possibilities. And the thing with this is you just want to get started and have a play. Don't try and plan everything out before you get started. Sort of as you go, oh, I could try this and I could try that, and oh, I wonder what would happen if, and then, actually just try it. Okay, so I am going to get started, and I will show you the EASY3DFLEX. So what I thought I'd show you is just mixing it up a little bit. And the other thing that is really good to use as well is ivory Powertex. So it's nice to have a bit of a mix so that you can actually mix the colours. So I'm going to use the yellow ochre. I have already nearly pre-mixed a little bit of red. I tried to get a little bit ahead of the game. My plan was to have a bit of pre-mixed yellow and a bit of pre-mixed red. But the good thing about doing this now is you'll see sort of the consistency. I'll mix it up to the sort of consistency that I used for the runny mix to seal the surface of the styrofoam. So because I am putting a really good coat on that surface of styrofoam, of course, then once the styrofoam is sealed really, really well, then I can add more layers with Powertex, or I can add layers with, oh, that's really bubbled up. Looks very voluminous. Oops, going straight into the clay. But you can see that that mixture would actually paint on, and that's a good sort of mixture for actually coating. I'd probably even maybe go a little bit stiffer than that. So it's not a total runny mix, but it's not so sort of stringy. It's more like a buttery mix, so that when you put it onto your piece, it's going to, like I say, give you a really good coat underneath, so that that styrofoam is thoroughly coated. So the end game that we want here is we want the styrofoam to be hardened, and so that it's a lot more durable, because obviously at the moment, I'll just pick up a piece here. Of course, it's under something. At the moment, you know, it's a little bit fragile, especially where the tail is. And you can see that I've also been putting the runny mix on this one. Now, I'm thinking with this one, I'll probably put a thicker runny mix on here, so that it really gives a really good clay surface onto that, and then I will play from there. So it's all about play and experimentation, seeing what will happen. All right, so you can see, you know, that's still quite runny, but it's got a really good thickness to it. So I could try it at that stage, or I could put a little bit more 3DFLEX in and just make it a bit thicker, so that it's going to get a really good covering. Look at that. Lovely, like whipped meringue. Well, not quite, but it's getting there. Look at that. Okay, so that's still runny. It's going to give a really good coating onto that styrofoam. So that's about the thickness that I used. And you can see on the styrofoam that it's kind of filling some of those styrofoam holes. So that's what I want. I don't want the texture. I don't want it to look like a piece of styrofoam once I'm finished. I want people to go, oh my gosh, how on earth did you do that? So welcome James from Ohio and Lamia from snowy Montreal. Wonderful to have you guys here, and welcome. And it's always lovely to see some international people dropping in. So welcome. Alrighty, so I can use this mix at any stage, but what I want to do today is I want to make a clay pretty much. So in order to use the EASY3DFLEX, I should show you the EASY3DFLEX. There it is. So you'll find that it'll either come in a tub or a bag. There was a stage where it was actually in tubs, and then it's gone into bags. And so whatever, these tubs are really great, but I like the bags because it takes up less space when I actually import it. So the EASY3DFLEX, this is what you want. So if you are looking to do beautiful textural surfaces on your paintings and mixed media art projects, you can use this on anything. So today I am showing you it on sculptural form and how it will take a basic armature like styrofoam or wire and just paper mache form into a really, really beautiful, textured surface. So instead of it looking like paper mache or styrofoam, it actually has this incredible professional arty finish, which is just lovely. And it is why I love the Powertex. So you will find that the EASY3DFLEX will get to the point where you can't actually mix it too easily anymore. I am going to need some more, of course. And I bought this tub in. And I've got gloves on, so I can't get it open. Crikeys. Let's take the gloves off and get this open. So yes, so Anne is from Anne's Artifacts and does beautiful artwork there in Canada. So if you are near Anne, she is someone that you definitely want to connect with. Oh my gosh, this just does not want to open. There we go. Just needed a bit of leverage. Thought I had enough EASY3DFLEX in with me. But making the clay up, you'll find that you use around about 30% of the Powertex Universal medium to about, 70% of the powder. So you will find when you are actually making the clay that you need more powder. It is it will lighten the Powertex a bit as well. I'm going to put this glove back on so that I can get my hands in there in a minute. So let me know if you have used EASY3DFLEX in your artwork. So of course I know Anne has, Lamia and James, have you actually used EASY3DFLEX? I know Roz has. And if you have, let me know what you love about it, how you like using it, whether it's more as a runny or whether you like using it as clay or a bit of combination of everything, what your favourite piece is that you've created. And during the week, it would be wonderful if you can join us on the Powertex Australia Creative Hub on Facebook, if you haven't already, and maybe share some of the pieces that you have created or maybe even create over the weekend using EASY3DFLEX. Inspired by today's live. So that's my hope, is I am here to inspire you to create. And James is just saying it's his first time of actually seeing it. And it is, whether you're a sculptor, painter, mixed media artist, it will give you really incredible textured art surfaces. So probably some of the work that you've seen around the place has this as a technique for creating beautiful surfaces that you might have gone, oh, I wonder how they did that. Well, let's reveal some of those secrets today so that you guys can have a play and see what you can do with it. So Donna is here from Canada. We've got all the Canadians on today. It's wonderful. Good on you guys. So I believe it would be quite late at night there. but maybe that's a good time for you guys and it suits you. Okay, so you can see that I'm just taking up that EASY3DFLEX into that mixture of Powertex Universal medium. And I know that I've finished making up the clay once all of that white stuff is worked through and it's not sticky anymore. So this is feeling really nice, but I am... Everyone will laugh that knows me because I am, oh, it's only 9:15 there in Canada. Perfect time. So that's awesome. Great time for you guys. Okay, so I was just saying that those of you who know me, you know that I don't like to waste anything, so I'm just going to use up all of this EASY3DFLEX powder that's in there, and it's not going to make too much difference with that amount that I've just put in. Yep, James is saying it's 9:16 there, so awesome. All right, there we have it. I have some yellow clay. Going to grab a little bit of plastic wrap and I'm going to pop that clay in some plastic wrap. You haven't got hours and hours of working time with this clay, and it doesn't last in the same way as stone art does. So of course, those of you who have stone art and have used stone art, you know that you can actually utilize it and you can make it up, and then you can, use it up to around about 6 months. So the stone art clay, if you haven't come across that, is another powder mix from Powertex Art Supplies that you also mix with the universal medium, the Powertex Universal medium, and because it comes in any colour, you can make up different clays. The difference between the stone art and EASY3DFLEX is that the stone art is more of a paper pulp, whereas the EASY3DFLEX is more of a non-organic compound. It is whiter, it will lighten the Powertex more, and it's just a finer powder as well. The difference is EASY3DFLEX is more stretchy. It takes stamping and texture really, really beautifully, whereas the stone art is beautiful to work with, makes more of a traditional clay. So there we go. I've got red mixed up as well. So Beth is here too from the Art Creatives. She's got an exhibition opening today with beautiful quirky birds. If you live in Perth, make sure you get up there tonight. So it's opening at 6 o'clock at Zigzag Art Gallery. So I'm excited, Beth. Can't wait to see your work. And hopefully I will get up there tonight. So this is what we are looking to create. And we have put our runny mix on, and I'm just going to take this off. But remember, that is the Powertex Australia Creative Hub on Facebook. If you haven't joined that, make sure you join us there, and you can ask any questions there that you have. And of course, if you've got questions today, I can answer them while we are live. Right, I am going to take my gloves off because now I get to play with texture and textural effects, and the clay is not super wet and sticky. It is actually really nice and dry and easy to work with. So I would quite like to do some dimension on the face for his eye. So I could have used a half a ball of styrofoam that I join on with a bit of a toothpick and more Powertex to create an eye. Or I can do what I'm planning to do, which is use some stone art to build up his, you know, the details on his little face. And I can do that later, so long as I'm not covering this with, you know, the EASY3DFLEX, because there wouldn't be a lot of point doing that. Okay, this is still a little bit sticky, so I am going to throw a little bit more EASY3DFLEX onto that mix. I should have my gloves back on. It's okay, we'll just throw it in there, flip it around a bit like coating a chicken fillet. I don't do much coating of chicken fillets, but I do a lot of coating of EASY3DFLEX clay. So there you go. I'm sure there's some of you out there, though, that like cooking. Me, I'm not really a big fan. I'd rather play in the studio with my clay. Okay, but we've all got to eat, right? So if you're a cook, I'm sure you appreciate the cooking analogies. Cooking analogies are great because everyone sort of understands them. So I just coat it until it is not sticky, and you know, take my time to do that, and then I can play to my heart's content. And I thought I'd show you part 2 next week, and I'll show you some other techniques for texture that we can get on our piece next week. All right, so I'm just wiping my hands off so they're nice and clean. We'll wipe this down as well. Okay, nothing like the, okay, let's just go here so you can see bigger table. All right, so what I am going to do is just get some of the 3DFLEX clay, and I'm going to actually just push it in place onto here. I want to give it a decent thickness, so it's probably about 3 mil deep. I can go around there. The other thing is that I don't have to do this all at once, so I can, but while this clay is actually wet, I want to, you know, stamp into it, and then I can add some more. All right, so if I wanted to, I could go with the rib of the seahorse, which would probably be quite good. So let's do that. I'm going to take this bit off. Put a bit in here. So this is the real fun bit once you've mixed it up. And you want to keep your EASY3DFLEX sort of in plastic, otherwise it is going to dry out. I might take it down here a little bit. I'm sort of still thinking about what I'm going to do on these edges, but what I would probably do is take this around. Now, if I wanted to work dimensionally, I could actually have this up on a stand, but I think, you know, while you can, it's a lot easier if you can work on it flat. So even working on it flat on one side, letting that side dry, and then working onto the other side is kind of a good idea. Okay, and let's just use this little bit up because I like to use everything, like I've said. I've got it in my hot little hands there. Okay, now that we've got that down, I'm going to put a little bit of a mixture of yellow. So I've got some yellow clay as well. I'm going to put a little bit of the red clay in with the yellow clay. If I wanted to as well, I could actually mix the red and yellow Powertex Universal medium beforehand and make like it makes a beautiful sort of salmon colour. So you can see that salmon colour is coming out a bit now as I'm working that red into there. Okay, so if we have a look at this, that is slightly lighter there. So I'm just going to pop slightly different colour in here. If anything, you know, like I've got quite a lot of clay on there, I could probably go with a bit less. And of course, you know, I could take my time a little bit more. Which of course you guys can do when you're working at home. Just kind of don't want to be, you know, here for hours with you, but I would like to show you a few possibilities. All right, so we'll keep that. Might just put a little bit of that other colour in here. And of course I would work my way around. I'd probably work on those edges a little bit more. But to be honest, you're not really going to notice at the end of the day once I've finished doing, you know, what I'm doing here. Just take this around and this around. A bit around. Jackie, lovely to see you here. Thanks for joining. Wide awake and remembered you would be live. I would be live. So, yeah, it must be the middle of the night there. So, in the UK. So, thanks for watching live. Great that you jumped in. Not so great that you're awake, but never mind. It happens, doesn't it? I tend to struggle a little bit with my sleep as well. So if I remembered that someone was on an arty live, I'd probably be doing the same and just jumping in. All right, that's pretty rough and ready, but you get the idea. So I have actually mixed a couple of colours there. And I'm going with the form as well. So I'll just I can pop this one across here. So the possibilities are endless in terms of what you can do. So you can actually mold that clay in a whole myriad of ways, layer it up. So you can see like I've got a little dot here. So I could push some wet colours in. But what I wanted to show you today was just texturizing some of this. So I have got a stencil here, and I've got some stamps. And generally what I would do is I would do a little section at a time, then push the texture in. So I've got a whole range of things here, as you do. So I've got some beads. Beads are fun, so I can actually push that into that clay. Look at that. How lovely is that? So just kind of going with what would be the rib of the seahorse, really. And what I've done, I'll repeat as well, so it's not all different, but I also don't want it all the same all over. So this is really good too, because I can kind of create, see if I can do it here. Probably not. I'll just, so see how I'm getting more of a pattern with those beads, so that I'm getting, you know, a more circular design. So that's a bit of fun, is to play with something like that. So anything that makes texture you can actually use. So that's just some beads. I love these stamps. So these are like kitty stamps from the $2 shop that I picked up a while ago, and they are just awesome. And so again, I'll do a little bit down here. Now, as I said, if I did a little bit at a time, I wouldn't be going on to the other clay areas. So I would do a bit of red, stamp into the bit of red, and then do, you know, a bit of something else. Carol from Ladybird Creative Arts is here as well. So Carol's in Fremantle area there, Hamilton Hill. So, and Carol does some lovely workshops, I believe. You've got a bumblebee coming up, Carol. So, and then we'll just, so like you can see, I like to do a bit of repetition so that it is not all the same, but so that you're not having just one spot of design. And if you make, I've made these very evenly spaced, but what is really nice is to make it more random as well. But I can kind of keep working on that. I could let that section dry and then actually just keep going. So how awesome is that? I might do some more of this pattern on this one. So I just basically, while this is wet, I want to actually be putting my texture into it. And you can see that you can get the most incredible textural effects. Now, what I would do next, once I have finished my clay work, is I would spray it with the Vista in the sepia tone, and that's what gives you your darks. So I will show you that next week, and I'll show you another way of doing some texture with the EASY3DFLEX. But just to recap, one of the top things to do is to have clay mixed up in different colours so that you can actually take, you know, a bit of red, a bit of yellow, a bit of ivory, and you can muck around with actually changing the colours of the clay. You could also change the colours of the Powertex Universal medium first before you mix the clay up, and then get a range of coloured clays, and then, you know, actually be putting shapes and things like I did with the salmon colour over the top of the red there, to get more dimension. So very playful, a lot of fun, and you can see how quickly that actually, you know, comes together and how beautiful it is. So I do love the red and the yellow ochre combined, because like I say, you get these salmony colours. So the more yellow I put in, if I put a bit less of the red in, it's going to be lighter, and if I put some ivory in, it's going to be lighter again. So a lot of fun. So this one is, the colour is going to pretty much end up like this. Then I could dry brush it if I wanted to, but this finish is just so beautiful. It would be almost a shame to actually dry brush it. So Donna is just asking a question. She's first of all saying she loves the texture that the stamps are making. Me too. I love, love, love this. And I've got to say, it does come with a warning because it is super addictive. So, you know, like playing around with the EASY3DFLEX and the Bista is super, super fun. So you will love this process, and you will have a lot of fun with this. So she's just also asking, does the 3DFLEX have to be dry before you spray it with Bista? No, it doesn't. In fact, I prefer the 3DFLEX to be wet, and then that way see some of these broken areas through it. What happens is the Bista actually distresses the EASY3DFLEX as well, so that it gets these incredible cracks, which are fairly random. So you can see that there's some cracking in here, so which is really, really nice. So it's actually nice to have your EASY3DFLEX clay dry. I think you can see it in here. I think that is really, really clear to be able to see just in there. So yeah, so a lot of fun to be had with this. So have a play this weekend with your EASY3DFLEX and your different colours in your Powertex Universal medium, and post it in the Powertex Australia Creative Hub so that I can see what you do with it. So I would love that. So don't forget that if you do need some Powertex art supplies, it is available worldwide. In Australia, you'll get it on the website, powertex.com.au, and or from a trainer near you or supplier near you. So get together with a trainer. It's a lot of fun. They run these art workshops. I will be doing a seahorse workshop very, very soon. I'll be putting it up and you can come and make one with me. So I just need to work out how it's going to look when it's finished so that I can put the finished piece up and make sure that it can be done in a day. Carol's just saying, wow, looks great. So much fun, Carol. As I'm sure you already know, I'm sure you love and know this. All right, so that's stamping. I should have showed you some stenciling. I also thought I would do that, but maybe I will save that for next week when I show you part 2 of EASY3DFLEX, and I'll actually do the tail, and I'll show you a different way of doing that so that you get a really good layer of clay on that, and I'll show you working with stencils as well, which is a lot of fun. So lots to be had. James, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the information. And yeah, hopefully you can all join me again next week as I show you part 2. And I think it's really good to go away, have a play with what I've showed you. So the stamping, try some things, just find different things. So shells are great. So I could also stamp some shell shapes into this as well. And, you know, I'm going to get some shelly texture in there, but I want to keep it like I've been doing. So we'll just get that randomness back. Okay, so you will find that if the 3D Flex, this is actually really good that it's done this. See how it's not stamping very well? That's because it has already dried off. And so it's not liking being stamped there because, and it's not taking the texture really well like it was while it was super wet. But as I work, I can work some more bits of clay in between here. I could actually have some fabric on and let the fabric harden and then put the clay in between. There are so many things that you can do. So you're welcome, Anne. I love sharing with you guys. And obviously, if I can inspire you to create we bring better vibes to this world with our creativity. So let's get out there and make something. You can subscribe on the YouTube channel as well, and that way and there's so much content on there because I've been live streaming since February 2020, so you can binge watch some YouTube on Powertex Australia, and you can subscribe there as well, ring the bell, and that way you'll get notifications that I'm live when you're awake in the middle of the night, Jackie. Okay, you're very welcome, everyone. I look forward to seeing your creations, what you do with EASY3DFLEX. Drop them into the Powertex Australia Creative Hub. And then, of course, like I say, coming up next week, I will do a bit more with creating texture with EASY3DFLEX. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you have any questions in retrospect, just drop it into the comments. If you are watching in replay, please let me know. And again, if you have any questions along the way, I will be keeping an eye on it. So thanks, everyone. Bye. And I will see you next week for some more Friday Live fun with Powertex Art Supplies. Ciao.